As a country with predominantly Muslim population, Indonesia has long established relations with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, but formally the diplomatic relations between Indonesia and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has been established since May the 1st, 1950. Since then, the bilateral cooperation and relations between the two countries have been flourished and increasing. And to know more about Indonesia and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabian bilateral relations, here we are going to have a special interview with the Ambassador of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Excellency Mr. Essam bin Abed al Thaqafi. Assalamualaikum, Your Excellency.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you for accepting us in this interview.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, Indonesia and Saudi Arabia have had strong bilateral relations for a long time.
Right.
How do you see the bilateral cooperation for the two countries today? What are the challenges faced nowadays?
Well, first of all, I welcome you here at the Embassy of Saudi Arabia. And as you mentioned, that Saudi Arabia and Indonesia had an historical relationship since 50s. Then we can say that it's one of the good and strong relationship between Saudi Arabia and the former foreign country. And of course, Indonesia for Saudi Arabia means a lot because of it's the largest Islamic country, and the relation between the two countries is quite strong. And as you know, that King Salman bin Abed al visit Indonesia in 2017. After that, President Jokowi visited Saudi Arabia last year in April. So these two visits actually promote the relationship between the two countries, and we signed a lot of agreements during the visit of the King, and we are still expecting a lot of improvement of the relationship between the two countries. You mentioned that there is challenges between the two countries in the relationship. I can say here that there is no challenges. Our relation is going very smooth, and we are expecting high-rank visits from our country, and we are right now in the last touch of issuing coordination council between Saudi Arabia and Indonesia.
So what about the progress this year? About the economic, energy and tourism sectors?
Well, one of the most important relationship that we are going to reach and to improve is the economic and investment relationship. As you know, that there is in our 2030 vision a lot of projects in Saudi Arabia, and we are looking and seeking that the Indonesian investors to be a part of these projects. Also here, the changing of the capital of Indonesia in Kalimantan also need that a lot of our investors and also the government companies to be a part of this project, inshallah.
Okay, in addition to investment, what are the potential sectors that the two countries can be developed?
Well, first of all, of course, in gas and oil, this is the most important improvement that we are looking for. The second thing is the investment between the Saudi companies and the Indonesian companies. I mean, when I say companies, I mean the largest companies in the two countries.
Okay, and regarding coronavirus or COVID-19 outbreak that we are facing now, so the Arabian government has imposed temporary suspension for Umrah pilgrims, and the suspension is also applied to Indonesian citizens. How does Saudi Arabian Kingdom respond to the transmission of COVID-19?
Well, all what the Saudi government is doing is because of the safety of pilgrims and the safety of those who are performing Umrah and Hajj to Saudi Arabia. Indonesia is part of the world, and when we suspend the Umrah temporary, it means for the security and for the safety of all those who are coming to Mecca and Medina. You know that millions of people around the world come to Mecca and Medina. And maybe this is the only site or the only place in the world that millions of people just get in at the same time. So this is what we are doing because of the safety, and now Saudi Arabia is doing the best just to make Mecca and Medina free of the disease, and hopefully, inshallah, very soon everything will be back to normal.
So the government has not decided when it will end.
Not yet, because you know that the unfortunately the disease and the news from all over the world is getting worse. But hopefully, inshallah, very soon that everything will be clear and everything will be back to normal, inshallah.
And about Hajj in 2020 also?
Still for Hajj more than 3 or 4 months. Until now, we did not decide yet. But if things finished before that, of course, everything will be clear. And hopefully, even in Ramadan, we'll start receive Umrah's performers.
Is the suspension only applied to Indonesian citizens in Indonesia, or how about the Indonesian citizens who are staying in Saudi Arabia? Are they also facing the restriction for performing Umrah?
Well, it's for everybody. As you see that the Holy Mosque in Mecca now, it's almost closed only for prayer. There is nobody, even those who are living inside Saudi Arabia, cannot perform the Umrah. So it's not only for Indonesian, it's for all over Muslims. And of course, Indonesian people are the same like any other nationality. So it's almost the same.
Okay. And talking about the quotas of Indonesian Hajj pilgrims, does your country also give more quotas for Indonesian pilgrims related to Hajj?
Last year we increased the quota 10,000 more, and hopefully that will this year we'll see it's studied by the officials there, and hopefully that the same quota will be increased or the same number, but it's not decided until now.
In Saudi Arabia, there are many Indonesian students who are studying there. And regarding the massive transmission of coronavirus, how does your country respond for the Indonesian students who want to study there?
Well, those who are staying in Saudi Arabia, even Saudis or foreigners, we deal with them and we treat them the same, because the disease is not only for this nationality or other nationalities, so we treat them the same. As you know that we are in the last month of the scholar year, so the next scholar year will be in June. Until that time, I think everything will be clear, inshallah. There are something like 300 to 400 students are going to be a part of our universities, in Islamic University in Medina, also in Imam Muhammad bin Saud in Riyadh. So hopefully, inshallah, everything will be normal, and they can start their studies there in our universities.
Do you know how many students, Indonesian students, studying there in Saudi Arabia?
Well, I think it's thousands between.
In which cities?
In Medina, in Riyadh, and in Mecca, Al Qura University in Mecca.
So you have a kind of scholarship for Indonesian students?
It's kind of scholarship there. We have something like 500 scholarship a year for Indonesian students.
Okay. For what major?
All majors, most of them Islamic studies, but it's all majors, especially in Riyadh. It's more than a major.
Okay. And the last, what is your expectation for the bilateral cooperation between Saudi Arabia and Indonesia in the future?
Inshallah, we are expecting a lot of improvement. We are expecting a lot of visits between the two countries. We are expecting a good economic and investment relationship between the two countries. And this is the intention if the two leaders of Saudi Arabia and Indonesia. Coming years, hopefully, inshallah, will be the correct and the right time to enhance the relationship between the two countries.
Okay, thank you very much, Your
Thank
Excellency,
you.
for the
Thank
time.
You. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Okay. Well, listener, that was our short interview, special interview with the Ambassador of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Excellency, Mr. Essam bin Abed al Thaqafi. I'm Ani Hassana. Thank you very much.